Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Now we are going to be doing some major modifications to this car once again today, something that's a little bit more track focused. But before we get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are also following us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. And also, if you're interested in seeing a build list of this car or any of the other vehicles we work on here on Tenza Motorsports, in the bio of our Instagram, we have a Linktree account. We will have all the build lists there, and we will have the build list of this car down in the description below. Now today, we're going to be stripping the interior out. So this is something that is not a daily driver thing. You don't want to strip out the interior on a car that you're driving all the time, mainly because you start to lose things like space. So you're going to lose your back seats, you're going to lose the functionality of the trunk. The other thing is it makes the car very loud because all the noise insulation, all that stuff ends up being removed. Now, if you're just jumping into this project, because I've had a couple people comment like, what's up with all the colors on this car? This right here is why we have all the colors on the car. She has been deciding everything from the entire cosmetics in the entire car. And the reason for that being is because colors on a car don't normally change its performance. Painting this thing pink and wrapping the toggle switch panel, none of that's gonna affect the performance of the car. That's why you're seeing a lot of pink on the car. It is her car. And today she's been wanting to strip the interior out pretty bad. She's pretty excited about getting everything on the inside to the outside. Now, I want to talk about one other thing before we get started on that. There's 4 things that you can do to a 330 Ci to beat an M3. Now, I know this is a little bit weird because it's a M3, but it is a 330 Ci technically because it has the M54 B30 motor. Now, I don't know if this counts for the 2.3, 2.5, 2.8 liter engines, but if you want your 330 to beat an M3, there's 4 things you can do, and one of them is free. One of them is to remove the interior. My car was beating M3s after the interior, a good set of suspension, about $1,000, a good set of wheels that are wider, and a good set of track tires. So those 4 things right there will have your 330 beating M3s on the track. Now, I'm not sure how well that does in like a drag race or something like that. I never drag raced an M3 side by side with my car, stripped out tires, wheels, and suspension. The only time I've ever raced an M3 in my car, I had already supercharged it. So if you're not wanting to do any major power upgrades, make sure your car is healthy and everything like that, but those 4 things right there will beat an M3. So we're gonna be doing one of those things today, stripping the interior out. A lot of the interior is already gone. Stripping the car out will get you about 500, 550 pounds off the car, depending on how deep you go. So today we are not doing the heater core. That's going to be done in a later video. We've already done a delete on this. I'll have a link on how to bypass your heater core up here. I have this car already done, but we're not doing the heater core today. Just the door cards, the roof, the carpet, things like that. So we're really excited about that. And we are going to be holding on to these items because it is out of an M3. This was the nicer leather interior, and see if we can't find somebody who is interested in a black interior. So yeah, we're going to get all this out of here. We have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to break a lot of stuff, but we're also not going to be super gentle. That airbag's been clearly blown. So this car, as many of you know, has been through a bit of an off-road escapade. This airbag was deployed and then shoved back into the door card. And we obviously don't care because we're pulling them out, but there's what it's supposed to look like. At least it didn't dent the outside of the door. I mean, I guess it's supposed to go in, not out. So I kind of figured based on the door card, the way it looked, that the airbag was bad. pull this side down. Okay. Here we go. Oh, there we go, whole thing. Look at that, but we did it without breaking it. What am I stuck on right here? Let it down slowly. Nice, look at that. That's not too bad. I've seen worse. That's definitely salvageable. Okay, from here we haven't decided if we're gonna be taking the sunroof off quite just yet, because we need a sunroof delete or just make sure that you don't ever drive in the rain. I did that on my white race car for about 6 months during the summer. So we'll have to decide what we're gonna be doing there. The carpet's coming out today. I've just cut along here because I'm not pulling the dash out quite just yet. When we do pull the dash out, that's when I'll be doing the heater core that is coming. The other thing that we do when we pull the dash out is remove all of this air ducting here. I'll get this stuff out just by taking a X-Acto knife and running it along here and taking that vent that's underneath here, the one on the other side. But yeah, so this was a lot of weight off the car. It doesn't look like it was a lot, but this is probably a good 150 pounds today at least, and there's so much more coming. So for example, little things like this. So this little bracket right here used to sit up here for the seatbelt. That's not super heavy, but it adds up. So we're gonna be removing the carpet, and then I also wanna show how we remove this sound deadening stuff here. You can see back here, it's already been removed. If you remove all that off the bottom of your car, it's worth about 40 pounds altogether. Now, I already threw this stuff away, so I'm not able to weigh it, but when I did my race car, it was close to 40 pounds. So now that we have a large majority of the car completely stripped out, we're gonna show real quick how I remove this sound deadening stuff. You can use the heat gun, which is what I'm gonna use now because we've got it here at the garage. The other way you can do it is use dry ice. Now, I know that dry ice is kind of not very available in some places, but I use dry ice in the bottom section of my race car, and it was really cool because you put the dry ice, you spread it out, and you just take a hammer and you just kind of hit it, and then this just shatters like glass. And that's really nice because it comes off completely. So you'll see over here, there's a design where you can see the adhesive didn't come off completely. That's not there when you do the dry ice method. Now, the downside of the dry ice method is these vertical pieces here, you can't hold the dry ice up while you get it off. So you're gonna have to use a combination of a heat gun and dry ice. It doesn't really matter either way as long as you're getting it off, but we're gonna be using the heat gun. So we'll show that real quick. All right, so that's how we plan on removing the sound deadening. It's a bit of a process. It takes a little bit, as you can see. We've been playing around with some other spots, but it's not super difficult, but it does get a lot of weight out of the car. So we really appreciate everybody so much for watching. We're gonna end our weight reduction video right here. We have just a little bit more to remove. So the back deck lid and the speakers back there, we're gonna be getting rid of. You can see the panels in these back seat area pieces and things like that. The seat belts will eventually be gone, replaced with harnesses. So there's just things here and there. All the foam, all the little brackets and stuff you find in the car can all come out. And if you really want to get crazy with it, this little wire loom right here Yeah, you can start going through and tracing the speaker wires and start removing that. There's a lot of things on the door you can get rid of. If you want to go to crank windows, you can do that by removing the motor and then putting a handle on it. I mean, you can go absolutely crazy with weight reduction. I only keep, really, when it comes to luxury items, there's only 2 items in my race car that are still luxury items. I have electric windows and my power steering is still there. Everything else has been removed. So thanks everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's content, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports, and we'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!